What's up, guys? It's your boy No Big Deal, and this is Creative Control, the podcast where we dive into God and the intersection of faith and creativity. Here today with us is none other than a man who is dropping his first album in 5 years, the founder of Indie Tribe, my favorite rapper, your favorite rapper, podcast extraordinaire, director of Holy Smoke Festival, No Big Deal. Dill, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Wow. What a great intro. Yeah, that really touched me, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You're welcome. I meant that. No, we meant it. Yeah, we did. We meant it. We did. I agree. A lot of fans know our story, but for those that are new here, how did we meet? The thing about the two of us is that we actually did not meet. That's true. We just have always been me and me. It's a good way to put it, man. Truly. You have an album about to drop. Tell us about that. Yes, man, I'm very excited about this album, The People We Became. It's my first album in 5 years since Lowercase Tape. I never meant for it to take 5 years to make. But I think between kind of the relaunch of Indie Tribe, Holy Smoke Festival, Moving Cities, right, the single run, collabs with Andy and KB and everything, it just kind of like kept getting pushed back, and my artistry kept developing and changing, and I looked up and it's like 5 years later. I remember I used to look at artists that were like 5 years between albums and be like, that could never be me. And now it's literally me. But The People We Became, it's a culmination of the past 5 years. A lot of these songs are, some are written in 2019, some are written in 2020, 2022, a couple of them written this year, and all of them kind of reworked and have had rewrites on them this year. And so it really is like a time capsule and a recap, and also just a culmination of everything that's gone on since 2019. So I'm very excited for the world to be able to listen to this thing that I've been creating for half a decade. I'm excited about that too, man. Yeah. What would you say is your favorite track off the album, and why? Favorite track is tough for me, because it kind of depends on the mood that I'm in. But I would say overall, my favorite track is Didn't Cry, which is a song that I wrote about a friend who passed away in 2018 while I was on tour, the biggest tour I've ever been on, Better Late Than Never, with Lecrae and Andy. Yeah. And so the song is kind of like this, kind of just puts you into that moment of, this is like the highest thing that I've achieved in my career, something I've wanted since I was really young. And then like one of the worst things that could happen to you in that moment is having a loved one like pass away, and getting that news like in the middle of that journey and trying to deal with the conflicting emotions. And so, the song is just kind of like, it transports you into that moment. And I think that's one song that I've literally been writing since 2018. There's different versions of it. People who get the even version of the album, they'll hear an earlier demo of Didn't Cry, which was, I think that was the first version. There's been many versions, but that was the first version. So you can actually hear how I originally wrote that song. But yeah, it's my favorite because it's raw, it's honest, it's about that. And then the end of the song has some of the most artistically ambitious things that I've ever put on an album, as far as my vocals, as far as like singing and layering vocals and writing. And it was actually hard, very hard to execute those things at the end of the song. But it came out sounding exactly how I wanted to sound. I feel like the song sounds like it's doing what I couldn't do, which was cry. And the difficulty of the process of creating the song felt like it felt like it lined up with the pain and the frustration of the situation. So it's almost like having to fight through the literal creative blocks and limitations of my own voice to create that sound feels like a proper memorial of my friend in that song. So that's why it's my favorite song. It's a long explanation, but no. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. So you just dropped Imago Interlude, which is just video, which is kind of controversial. Imago, are you worried about how people will receive that, or how do you feel about that? No, I'm not worried at all about how Imago would be received. I'm very excited for how people receive Imago Interlude. That was one of the ones that I was trying to decide, is that my favorite or not, because I've loved that one since I wrote it. But no, it's a very challenging song. It's a very it's challenging art. Yeah. And for sure, I will say that I want part of the artistic offering of that song is how you feel when you listen to it. I don't think that you can honestly listen to that song without feeling some sort of dissonance or feeling uncomfortable. Yeah. Maybe even some feelings of anger. Maybe even anger at me or anger at other people described in the song. But that's part of the offering of the art, is to agitate, is to make you think, why do I feel these feelings? Yeah. What should I do about it? Exactly. And where the song lands should leave you with a question that you have to answer, in your own life. So I think that Imago, and it's called Imago Interlude, for Imago Dei, like the image of God. And so I don't want to spoil too much about it, but yeah, I think that any kind of agitated feelings that come with that song are good and are necessary. And it's for the good of the public. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so those two songs, like Imago and Didn't Cry, you deal with a lot of real feelings and emotions that you've gone through, even hard subjects throughout the album. So how has your faith impacted the creation of this album? Yes. A lot of real topics. I definitely didn't pull any punches, and I also didn't try to mask any of my imperfections or the things that I've gone through or struggled with or God has brought me through. I wanted it to be just fully authentic and open and transparent. As far as how does my faith influence my art? Yeah, I think you hear where I am in my walk all throughout the music. A lot of the concepts on the album I had to wrestle with God about, or I'm still wrestling with him about. I'm still sitting in silence, like awaiting an answer. But with the trust in him, trust in his faithfulness that he's shown, and that's something else that's another major theme in the album, is his faithfulness, but trusting his faithfulness and knowing that he's there and he cares. So I think the foundation of how my faith affects my creativity is, I believe that I believe that God is the greatest creative in existence. He's the first creator. Yeah. He's the greatest creator. And so he created us to share that characteristic.
That's right.
With him. And that we can be kind of lowercase c creatives.
I like that.
He gave us a little bit of that part of his nature to where we have dominion over the things that he created out of nothing. Now we can rearrange those things and create things that did not exist before. So I feel empowered by him to make beautiful things, to make challenging things, to make honest things, to admit things, to aspire to things, and do that publicly. And I can do that with no shame, knowing that there are people who need to hear these messages, who resonate with where I'm at in my walk, and they may be in a similar place, and this helps them feel closer to God, knowing that he's with them in all of these things. He's not waiting for them to figure it out or pushing them away because they're going through it, but he's side by side with them, making them into the people that he wants them to be, or leading them out of a situation or a season that he doesn't want them in, which is another major theme of the album. Is the title, The People We Became, is intentionally ambiguous. It's not good or bad. At times, the people that we've become, we're not proud of. And at times, we know that we're on the right path.
Wow.
In both of those instances, God is with us. That's the main message of the album.
Man, you preaching, bro. I like the lower C creatives. That's a bar right there.
Lower C.
That's a bar.
How has your faith holistically influenced your career? Like, holistically so far, how has your faith influenced your career? I think that, kind of like what I was just saying, that believing that God values creativity, and that he legitimately and literally wants us to be creative, that he's with us in those endeavors, and that he has given everything, the most valuable thing, his son, to make a way for us to draw near to him. So he's not going to cast those who want to be near to him out.
Right.
I think those being the foundation of my creativity have pushed me to pursue all of the various like creative endeavors, with like a certain fervor, because it's like, I believe this is what God has put me here to do. I believe this is what he wants. And I believe there are people that he wants to reach, and he has finally tuned me to be the instrument that he's going to reach those people.
Yeah. What spiritual practices are essential to your creativity?
I would say, me personally, I need silent or quiet time with God each day. Any day that I don't have that, like, it's kind of like very noticeable in my mind and in my heart, and how I interact with people as well.
Like, you don't treat your wife as well.
I don't treat, honestly, we don't, if we're going to be honest, we don't treat,
well,
our wife sounds weird. It's true and it's right, and it's okay.
It feels weird,
but it sounds weird to say, but I'm going to continue saying it. We don't treat our wife,
all right,
as good as we should when I don't have a quiet time, or a time of silence, and that looks a lot of different ways. Walking in nature, praying to God, sitting in actual silence and breathing, and meditating on his love for me, breathing in his love, breathing out fear, you know, reading scripture. Yeah, so I think that those things are at the beginning of my day. That's before I do anything creative. And I'm not perfect on that, as you know, but I would say 9 times out of 10, I have to have that time with God before I go into something creative. And then I have a principle of like inviting him into the creativity. So sometimes, and I used to be like this, and sometimes I'm still like this, but I'm saying like, it's sometimes the idea is, okay, let me offer this beginning part of my day to God. Boom, that's out the way. Now let's get into this rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But instead of that, I've adopted more, I'm starting my day talking to God, and then I'm inviting him into everything else. But, you know, specifically with creativity, I'm inviting him into the studio session, you know?
Yeah.
What do you have to say through me? I'm excited about this. What do you think about this? And also, a lot of the indie tribe guys do this too, but it's like, especially when we're together, but say like, God, if you like this idea that we have, please like support it and encourage it and cause it to flourish. And if you don't like it, destroy it, burn it down,
get it out of here.
I always say in my studio sessions, you have full permission to veto, rewrite, scrap anything that I'm working on. So I think spiritually, those are kind of the foundational disciplines. Do you notice a difference in what you create when you don't have those spiritual practices? Yeah. Trash is no, it's on. So I'll actually like answer that a little different because people would hear it and be like, I don't think this is trash, you know, but my heart motive is off. And the music stops having like the potency and the purpose that it has when I am walking in step with God's will, and I've invited him into the session, and it's about him first. This album, I think, is like a very clear example of what my music sounds like when I'm like slowly and prayerfully trying to walk in step with God's will. There are some songs that I released that probably people watching this think are fire. They probably think they're fire. But my motive was to put something out that was fire. Right. And yeah, it's cool. It streams. You know what I mean? Like people can I'm sure people have good experiences with it. And God still uses, you know, he uses crooked sticks to draw straight lines. So I'm not going to talk down on any of my songs because I'm sure he's used them for good. However, I will say there's probably a very clear difference between that music and what's on The People We Became. You know, I was going to ask you what songs you had put out where you weren't in step with the Spirit, but okay, you kind of killed that. So, I mean, we look good together and we look bad together, my brother. Facts. That's facts. I mean, we're moving on. We're moving on. So you are a festival director of Holy Smoke Fest. You could never. What? Now, hold on a second. I do that every day. I tried it. I'm you. What does it look like to be a festival director? Yeah, so I'm my official title, festival director. I kind of oversee the entire festival. So everything from, you know, sponsorship and creative direction and marketing direction. What else? Operations. Like I oversee all of it. Now, let me make this caveat because I know you were thinking it, and that is that operations isn't Indy Chelsea the director of operations, and doesn't she do everything over there and do it better than you guys could ever do because you guys are stupid and suck? Well, and the answer to that is yes, but I'm saying my official title, as you know, is to oversee all of that. So technically, I oversee operations. That's it. That's all I was saying. Is that you admitting
that you would get nothing
No,
done.
we're excellent at our job because part of great leadership is delegation and knowing when to yield and not micromanage and let your star players be star players.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. You handled it.
Thought you had me, but you didn't.
You did what you needed to do.
You didn't. You just set me up.
Are you
for
happy with yourself?
Alley-oop.
Just tell us about Holy Smoke.
Holy Smoke, our baby. Holy Smoke, 4th year of Holy Smoke. Look, this is the biggest and best that it has been.
Fact.
Now, I do want to say that every year the talent is incredible, just because the space of Christian hip hop.
Talk about it.
Acts that are adjacent to Christian hip hop, artists who are believers but don't make Christian music. Everybody who populates the Holy Smoke stage. These are really the cream of the crop. I stand by all of their artistry, and that's a huge thing that I think separates Holy Smoke from just any major music festival, is that we're highly curated, and of course we have headliners and we have support and we have openers, but everybody on the list is not there because of their buzz or this is what's popping right now, but it's because of their excellence and their artistry. And a lot of people are on there because they're so excellent in their gifts and they're not getting the proper platform or shine.
Right.
And people aren't taking chances on them. And so we want Holy Smoke to be a launch pad for a lot of that creativity and ingenuity that is for the good of the public and the glory of God. That's always what I'm most excited about with Holy Smoke. But I will say that some of our other wings this year, like Indie Institute, which is a staple at the festival, which is the educational and equipping kind of wing of Holy Smoke, where we have panels that equip independent artists and creatives in general. Man, this year it is
crazy, right?
Stacked. Can we talk about who's on it?
I think we should. I mean, some people might change by the time this drops, but
we could talk about the guaranteed people. And if they're not guaranteed, then this will put pressure on them, and they'll have to explain to the public why on Creative Control Podcast it said that they were guaranteed, but then they weren't there.
I'm with it.
Let's do that. And number one, I'm going to start with the number one that's supposed to be guaranteed, and that is Pharrell. Pharrell Williams, you guaranteed that you were going to be there at Holy Smoke for the Indie Institute panel, and now the pressure has been put on you, and if you don't show up, the fans are going to be like, why isn't Pharrell there?
Now you're just lying to people.
No, I'm not. We are.
Okay. Yeah. This is why you need a director of operations.
All right. So let's get to the people who are guaranteed,
please,
or who are supposed to be guaranteed. And that is, first of all, my main man, my brother that I didn't know was my brother until this year, Kato on the Track.
Kato. What's good, Brody?
Kato on the Track will be there for Indie Institute for the super producer panel. Also, the man who needs no introduction, except he does, because y'all don't know your music history. Y'all don't love Whitney Houston. Y'all don't love Michael Jackson. Like, y'all don't love, you know what I'm saying, Justin Bieber and Britney, and y'all don't, you know what I mean? Y'all don't know your music history, but Rodney Darkchild Jerkins will be
Darkchild in the building.
Part of the super producer.
He was on the panel last year.
He was, but y'all missed it.
They didn't know.
It was kind of it was kind of didn't do the best job of marketing it last year, but
so marketing team failed. Dropped the ball.
I mean, I wouldn't say the marketing team dropped the ball, you know. I'd say they kind of jostled the ball. But yeah. No, we don't do that. So where was I? You know what? Yeah, I think that's a good enough teaser. So, Indie Institute's gonna be going crazy. Yeah, man. Andy Mineo is back out of nowhere. He's not at Indie Institute though. No. He's just back on main stage. You know what I mean? They've got one of my favorite artists.
Oh, really?
He's direct support.
Okay.
This is my only beef
Oh,
with
shoot.
Holy Smoke.
Okay.
I feel like they kind of messed up on the roster a little
Really?
bit because I think he should be headlining, but he's direct support.
Who was that?
Oh man. It starts with
Wait. You're doing the. You're gonna.
and
Okay.
No Big Deal. No
All
Big
right.
Deal. He's direct support this year. I do think he should headline, but it's okay. It's like, you know, it happens.
I agree. He should.
Yeah.
We're in
Yeah.
agreement for sure. We're in
Okay.
agreement.
So what act are you secretly most excited about though? At Holy Smoke. Secretly. I'm not gonna lie. It's Sarah Jewers. It's Sarah Jewers. For sure. I think Jon said that was his secret favorite too on the podcast. Oh, well, then I definitely have to change it.
Someone said it. It was John or Michael. Somebody also said Sarah.
Okay. All right, let me just no, I'm just kidding. If it can't be Sarah, which it is Sarah, but if it can't be Sarah, then I got it.
Oh, yeah?
I got it. I
Okay.
got it. A Klesso.
Oh, yeah. Fire.
A Klesso.
Crazy.
I mean, fans of the pod will know a Klesso. 0 people can know him in the room, and he's gonna turn the room up and make fans out of all
Right.
of them. So for him to be put on a stage where a lot of people know him, I can't wait to
Yeah.
see that.
Me neither. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Super fire. So what is the mission behind Holy Smoke? And why does it matter?
I mean, I feel like we kind of already talked about this. I
mean,
feel like you're off your game a
Wait,
little bit today.
hold on a second.
You know?
I'm following the script that you wrote.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
That is
Yeah.
true. I don't have a comeback for that. So,
exactly.
the mission of Holy Smoke is to glorify God and do good to the people by highlighting excellent creativity, by reflecting the capital C creator as a bunch of lowercase c creatives, but really focusing on the excellence of the art, the message of the art, and impacting people's lives through that. I think a lot of times, the music or the art or whatever itself is used as a bait to get people into the real stuff. So at a lot of conferences and festivals, oh, we got this artist, we got this music. And that's just to kind of get you excited, get you there, get you jumping around. Now we're going to hit you with the real stuff. Here comes the sermon, or here comes whatever. The thing that's different about Holy Smoke is the main thing is the music. The main thing is the art. And we don't think that there has to be something else to pull the little bait and switch. If the art is excellent enough, and it glorifies God, then that's it. This is the main event, you know?
Sounds like the place to be.
There's no place like Holy Smoke.
Can people get tickets?
It's a weird question. Yes, people can get tickets, right? Yeah. Why are you looking at me
How
like
can
that?
people get tickets?
Okay, how can people get tickets? Yeah, people can get tickets on indietribe.us. And that's just so y'all know, that's indietribe.us, not indietribe.United States. You know, it's supposed to be a cool thing.
What is bro on about?
You know, indietribe.us, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So indietribe.us, you can get tickets there. Yeah, that's how you get tickets. You buy them.
Speaking of Indie Tribe, how did you become a member of Indie Tribe?
How did I become a member of Indie Tribe? The way that I became a member of Indie Tribe is that I created Indie Tribe, I would say. I created and founded it, and then I was like, all right, who should be the first member? And like we had a meeting, and we're like, we think the first member should be us. And we both agreed, and then we looked at me and said, me, would you like to join us as the first member of Indie Tribe? And the two of us said, actually all three of us at that point in unison said yes. And that's how I became a member of Indie Tribe.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
What was the original idea for Indie Tribe if it was just you?
That's a good question.
So the original idea of Indie Tribe started when I was in college at MTSU. Was I saw like a lot of different creatives on campus that we had similar like messages, ideas, and kind of the culture at the time on campus was everybody's just trying to get popping and trying to like, you know, really pursue our stuff. So it's like, yo, I'm a photographer. Here's my rate. Yo, I'm an engineer. Here's my rate. Like, yo, I'm a rapper. Here's my feature rate. Whatever. But nobody had any motion yet. Like nobody was actually popping. And so it's like everybody's just kind of like going one step up and then stepping on each other like or like I'm paying you for something, then you got to pay me right back. Like it was canceling out and nobody was making any noise that way. So the idea was, what if we pull all of our talents together and come together as a community of creatives, and we'll be able to elevate all of us to where we can break through the noise and and start to like build a platform that way. And so it started with some friends in college that like bought into that idea, and I'm still friends with them today. And so everybody kind of like went off and did their own thing after. I mean, it was dope. Like that community was fire. We did that, you know, okay, I got the photo shoot. Okay, I got the music. I got the music video. You know what I mean? I got the artwork. I got the graphic design. And it just helped everybody, you know, experience a level of gaining that like initial platform. And then everybody kind of like went off and did their different things that they were doing after college. And so I just took that same philosophy and applied that to my solo career. And Mowgli the Iceberg was the first one to really like buy into that.
Mowgli.
And so it was just us for a while, and then it grew from there. And we've taken that philosophy and developed it into what people see it as now, where it's like, you know, we're 2 albums in on Indie Tribe, we're 4 festivals in.
Yeah.
And that's how we operate. So from that original Indie Tribe group, people who were pitching in during college, who are you still primarily working with? Mowgli's like, you know, if there's generation 1 and generation 2, like Mowgli's like generation 1.5.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So he kind of is the major one.
Yeah.
You know, I would say. A lot of people have seen, you know, Saran S-Rap, like in videos.
Shout out S-Rap.
All throughout my career. He was another inaugural member.
And Ant too, right?
Yes, Ant, photographer extraordinaire. He has taken the photo that's been my cover art for every one of my projects, except Solar, which I know I have a lot of Solar.
Be careful
fans. I don't want to disrespect them at all. I have a lot of fans who are diehard Solar. However, there are some feelings that come up with Solar just because that was in the label system and it caused a lot of issues. And one of them was they really pushed for Anthony to not be the photographer for the cover. I should have pushed harder.
Yes,
we should have pushed harder
against
it. But, you know, we were young and unseasoned.
Now speak for yourself.
And regardless, though, we got Anthony that bag. We got him a bigger bag than the album cover by, well, shoot, I probably shouldn't even say that. Anyway, we got Anthony a bag.
We did. All right. So you mentioned college. What I don't think a lot of the viewers know is what you got your degree in at MTSU.
Hey, man, one more time, though. Shout out Ant, bro. Just because I feel like people did not fully understand. Like, Ant is incredible. Go look at my artwork. Look at Canopy. Look at Lowercase Tape.
This is facts,
Look at the people we became. all the media that we did around the song Willie. Like, really look at those joints, bro. He is different. My man is certified. Shout out Ant. All right, back to your question. We'll link Ant in the show notes so people can check him out for sure. All right, so before college, before No Big Deal, before everything, the career, life before that, how did you come up? How'd you get into all this? I feel like that's not what you just asked. Well, I thought you didn't want to answer that. What did you ask before that? I was getting you to let the people know about your degree at MTSU. Oh, yeah. Okay. And like your thesis, honors college. Yes. Technically, I have an honors degree in music business from Middle Tennessee State University, the illustrious honors college at MTSU. Go Blue Raiders. Shout out Tay Keith, who also graduated from MTSU. Shout out Tay Keith. Shout out Daisha McBride. Shout out, Mowgli the Iceberg. Shout out whoever the lead singer of Evanescence is. Shout out Julian Baker. Shout out Street Symphony. Shout out Derek Minor. Shout out Lecrae. This is a half to 3/4 shout out because he didn't graduate from MTSU. And matter of fact, I'm gonna take that from a 3/4 back down to a half because, and this is about you, MTSU. Okay. MTSU has a Hall of Fame wall where they have people painted on the wall. A bunch of country acts, of course, they all deserve it. Daisha's on there. Shout out Daisha. And I think Street Symphony's on there. Tay Keith's on there. Very deserved. Yes. Lecrae is on there. And here's my thing. I'm not on there. Now, at first, that might sound like a little much. Lecrae did not graduate from MTSU, and he definitely didn't graduate with honors from MTSU like we did, right? Okay, but here's the second thing. Cray doesn't even claim MTSU. At all. I read all of Cray's books. I never heard MTSU. Oh, Texas. Oh, shout out to Kappas. Oh, shout out San Diego, Denver. I never hear anything about Middle Tennessee. Never hear anything about MTSU. You understand? I'm Middleton Lynn. You understand? I'm Murfreesboro. I'm Nashville. King. 10 tones down, Mr. 615. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not on the Hall of Fame wall, but Lecrae Moore, who did not graduate and doesn't claim you, is on your wall, MTSU. Somebody clip this and send it directly to MTSU and tag them and say, why is No Big Deal, your most proud alumni, not on the Hall of Fame wall? Tell us about that. You understand? What was the question? What is your honors thesis about? Oh, yeah. My honors thesis was, my honors thesis was, what was the title of it? I mean, it's right there. Let's see if I can read it. Okay, yeah. My honors thesis was Holy Verses, How Christians Use Hip Hop as Evangelism. Yeah. Let me just get it for you real quick. Hold on. Okay. All right. That's what we're doing. Here we go. Right here. All right. So, tilt that towards me a little bit. So, Holy Verses, How Christians Use Hip Hop as Evangelism. Yeah. University Honors College, Academic Excellence. That's right. I'm a published writer. I actually am a published. That means you're published. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's facts. So how'd you start rapping? I just want to say, when I wrote that thesis, the Honors College, specifically Dean Vile, they thought I was an idiot. They were like, they read my draft and it was all about, how there's a battle between Calvinism and Armenianism in Christian hip hop, and how Christian hip hop is didactic and evangelistic, and the kind of the restless and reform movement, and all of these things that were going on at the time I was in college. Bruh, the advisors, the deans were like, there's no way that all of this is going on. You're definitely like blowing smoke. Like, there's no way that all of this like deep theology and all of this is happening. So anyway, long story short, I introduced them to how deep and thorough Christian hip hop was. And at the end of it, they were like, dang, there's nothing we could do but give him an A. You understand? I rung the bell. and I got published, and I got my honors degree.
Yeah.
It's up. MTSU, why am I not on the Wall of Fame? Why are we not on the Wall of Fame? Like, really think about this. Do some internal searching and decide for yourself. So when did you start rapping? We started rapping. When did we start rapping? I mean, first rap, like, I don't know, probably like 8 or something.
8?
Yeah, you know, 8. I don't remember exactly, but I feel like it was really, really early. That sounds right. Probably right after Dad took us to the Backstreet Boys concert. Okay, we're here. Yeah. Were you even allowed to listen to rap? So I could listen to clean rap. But when I was really young, I was not allowed to listen to rap at all. Mom did not want me to listen to rap, and Dad snuck and let me listen to rap, and it was rap. Okay. It was a rap. Yeah, it was a rap. Just went for it. But I had to buy like the clean versions of everything. We're going way back now. Maybe some day ones will know about this. Is it true that Big Smo tried to sign you back in 6th grade? Big Smo tried to sign me back in 6th grade. Edit. The only extreme day ones will know what just happened right there. If anybody knows what happened, you don't though. No, I don't think anybody knows. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So, and everybody thinks they know. I know what you're thinking, and you're wrong unless you were there. But anyway, your question was, did Big Smo try to sign me back in 6th grade? Yeah, mom got a studio time in my rap group at the time, Southside Epidemic. Shout out Tevin, shout out Ty, Notation. Notation can be heard on lowercase tape on the interlude called Note before Sticks. That's Notation. That's Ty. He was part of my very first rap group in 6th grade called Southside Epidemic. And Mom bought us some studio time at Big Smo's studio, and we recorded there. And yeah, he was talking good. He was like, "Hey, we can really do something with these boys." Like, I remember we were on the ride home with Mom, like, "Mom, I could get a tutor, like, and not go to school." Like, child actors have like at that time had tutors that would like go with them. I was like, "Oh, we could do all this." Like, but Mom was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." But Mom, that was never gonna happen.
Nah, that was not gonna happen.
So when did you decide that rap would be your career? This is a good one. My parents always like empowered me, encouraged me to do whatever. They said you could do whatever you want to do. And my grandpa as well was like, for your career, think about what you would love to do for no money. Whatever that is, figure out a way to add money to that situation, but pursue that, And so I knew I loved music, and I wanted to figure out a way for that to be my career. I thought at first, I always kind of thought, oh, I'm not supposed to be the rapper though, like the front person. Like, I just didn't. I've always had imposter syndrome, always second guess things. So I was like, I'm probably not that. I'm part of the crew though, And so I'll make beats. That's what I thought. So, I got that cracked version of Fruity Loops, downloaded that joint, was making beats, Soulja Boy 2.0. And that's what I wanted to go to school for, go to MTSU, because we were like making our own beats and rapping over them or ripping them off, like offline and whatever. So
YouTube, all that.
Went to MTSU and signed up for the audio production pathway at MTSU. Got in those classes and knew pretty soon, like, this is not beat making. This is like audio engineering, and that so much more goes into that than making beats. All this time I've been rapping, I'm just thinking, that's probably not what's going to end up being my career.
Yeah.
So, okay, production doesn't work. I'll switch to music business. I'll be a artist manager. So I'm managing my friends, whatever. And then, but I'm rapping this whole time, and you know, Derek Minor, I start working with Derek Minor and RMG, interning with them. I'm still making music. Derek hears my stuff, encourages me, fires me. You know what I'm saying? And it was between Derek's encouragement and him firing me, and our wives. You're okay with that now? Okay. Our wives' encouragement, saying that I should really do this, because one of my main things that was stopping me from doing, we got married really young, and I was like, I want to be able to support her. I don't want her to have, have to go through the hardship of being an artist's wife. That's not what she signed up for, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when she really encouraged me to do it and was like, I think this is what you're supposed to do, and Derek said that and fired me, then that's what really made me be like, yo, it's up. And then it was really just the fans, because like I did the project, I put it out, and that first little group that got my stuff off of Rapzilla went crazy. 5,000. I was talking to Mowgli about it earlier today. 5,000 downloads on Rapzilla in 2015 for my first project. That's crazy. That's like I didn't have a fan base to warrant that. I had no fan base, but like people heard it and just went crazy. So
that's wild.
Yeah. So far with your rap career, what is like your most treasured memory? Ooh, most treasured memory? Wow, you just came up with this one on the spot.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm freestyling
off
now.
the cuff.
Watch out.
I like that.
Trying to fill some time.
I like that, brother.
Trying to fill some time.
You can still keep some stuff from me. Okay,
man.
Some
tricks up my sleeve. I thought we were up here with it, but okay. Hey, all right.
Not totally.
My most treasured memory in my career. Honestly, the reason that you're probably trying to fill some time is because your banter is. But okay, so my most treasured memory in my career. So there's a couple that come to mind. First one that comes to mind is the Unplugged concert this year. And somebody took a picture of it. So I don't think I necessarily knew in the moment, but the picture was crazy. And I'm on stage. I don't remember exactly what song I'm doing, but I remember I put my fist up in the air, like the Black Power fist. I don't think I was doing Black Power, but that just for the people who are listening so they get the visual. And my dad, I don't think he, instinctively, he stood up and did the same thing. And somebody took a picture from the back of the room, because I have my head down while I'm doing it. And it's like a picture from the back of the room. You see my dad with his fist up and then my fist up, in unison. And I just thought it was a really cool representation of what the whole night was, because that was definitely one of my, it was the most vulnerable performance that I ever did, the most honest performance I ever did. I'm doing it with my uncle, with all real music, no backing track. You're really up there, metaphorically naked, and my parents, coming in front row to support. And I showed my dad that picture, and he didn't remember it. So that's why I'm saying it was just reflexive, So that's one. Two, I have to say, is Holy Smoke last year. Indie Tribe,
iconic.
We performed songs off of our second album. We end our set with Free, which is another one of, my most ambitious and transparent lines. And it's very hard to perform, because that's another one that in the studio I was actually stretching myself artistically and vocally to the limits of my vocals, really straining to get that sound that I felt represented those lyrics. And doing that on stage is super, super tough. And so that's how we ended our set, basically. And so we ended with that, and I'm coming off stage, and I see Lecrae and Derek Minor on either side of the stage, like of the doors that go to the green room, and they're giving a standing ovation. And that represents so much, because I came up as an intern of Derek, and Lecrae put me on my biggest tour ever, you know, and for them both to be there, like supporting that moment. And then like they're kind of like in the foreground of that memory, and then behind them in the hallway is like my family, Indie Tribe, Portia, like Portia Love, like everybody just like waiting to receive us and encourage us, and then Portia prayed over us like this magnificent prayer. And so those are probably my two fondest.
Yeah, both of those are beautiful, beautiful memories.
So those were both live show moments.
What live shows do you have coming up, or anything that could get the people excited?
Yo, just now when people see this it'll be another day. But today, the day that we recorded this podcast, just announced that I'll be on part of Forrest Frank's tour in Atlanta at the Coca-Cola Roxy.
Shout out Forrest.
And Riverside, California at, I think it's like the Municipal Auditorium or something like that. And so, I mean, that's fire. This is another like really big tour. Obviously, Forrest is blown up. So shout out my guy Forrest. But yeah, I'll be supporting him on those. And so that's going to be very dope. And then honestly, holy smoke.
Yeah.
Like I'm really, and I'm about to say it on camera, so now I'm locked into it, but I really want to like go all out for my performance at Holy Smoke and really do like the album justice. So I'm really excited about what we cook up for that.
All right, they're giving us the wrap up sign, so you know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's time to enter the control room. Rapid fire questions. Okay. You just got to say what comes to your mind.
I don't like being on this side of it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it.
You're in the hot seat today, buddy. Except it's called control room.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we go. What's the most unexpected thing that's inspired one of your creative projects?
Oh shoot. Most unexpected thing.
First thing that comes to mind.
I don't like
You're
this.
Not good at it.
Dang. Okay. The most unexpected thing that inspired one of my projects.
Yes.
That's what you said?
One of your creative projects.
One of my creative projects.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
What's the most absurd criticism you've ever received about your work, and how did you respond?
Most absurd criticism, just you're going to hell. And that happens, you know,
once a week or something.
Once every few weeks, you know, that I see. It probably happens like every couple days, but just you're going to hell. But I also famously don't respond to anything, so my response is nothing. The guys make fun of me for that, but I just think like responding to it gives it a platform that it doesn't deserve.
What's the most ridiculous thing you believed as a child?
The most ridiculous thing. I believed Santa Claus was an angel, and that's how he got around the world so fast in one night. And I believed that for a very long time.
How long?
12
years?
12 years.
Moving on. What's your favorite conspiracy theory, even if you don't believe it?
Okay. So even if I don't
if you don't believe it.
Oh, easy. Favorite one is that we all died in 9/11.
Wow. Okay. No further questions.
Okay.
What's your favorite No Big Deal lyric?
Okay, but see, this is the problem that John ran into as well. My favorite lyric is one that is not out. Wait, is it out?
It's out on Even.
It's out on Even.
Not DSPs.
It's out on Even. I will say my favorite No Big Deal lyric is the last lyric of Imago Interlude.
Okay, fair enough. Go buy it on Even. Or wait till Friday.
Finally, why do you have a problem with Jon Keith? I have so many, and it's really too many to mention.
Wow.
I talked about last time how unbelievably rich he is, but how he refuses to admit it because he chooses to live in the actual most expensive city in the United States. So he's nerfed by the city that he lives in, but he's actually extremely loaded and rich, but he wants to complain.
1%.
Oh, I don't have money. Meanwhile, I'm driving an 07 Ford Fusion from high school that I actually have to roll down the window and then stick my arm out to open up the outside of it. Mr. San Diego, oh, I don't have money. Somebody help me. Somebody give me money. He's so rich. It's unbelievable. That's just one.
I mean, do you have more? You want to?
I mean, what else do you want? He's crude, you know?
It's a little too real.
He's, I mean, he is really funny. He's a funny guy.
He is a funny guy.
He is a funny guy. Okay, this is one thing about John.
Mm-hmm.
This is a strength that he has, but a reason that I don't like it.
Okay.
And it is that John is the type of personality and debater where he can factually, objectively, he has lost the argument. Or there isn't even an argument to be had because the facts are right in front of you that he's wrong. But he has such a magnetic and charismatic personality that he can, people at the end of the argument will be like, I don't know, he has a point. Like, okay, for example, like we know this, like Tribal Council 2022 or something like that, destroy him in Super Smash like 8, 9, 10 times in a row. Or like, okay, actually, okay, it wasn't that many times. I'm remembering as I'm saying it. It was 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row. When I say 4 times in a row, I mean 4-0. I mean there's no wins on John's side, right? 4 times in a row. People watch it. Everybody in the house has just watched 4-0. Okay? At the end, bro, I'm a better player than Dill, though, if you think about it, right? At first, everybody in the room laughs, right? Because we just witnessed 4-0, right? He's like, yeah, but he only played with that character. Like, you know, I could probably beat him with other characters. Like, I'm not going to do it right now, but I probably could beat him with other characters. And I'm like, bro, I just beat you 4-0. And then, but he makes the argument about, yeah, but you didn't use anybody else. So like, we don't, like, we kind of don't know. Like, we don't know. And everybody, at the end of that, everybody's like, well, no, you know, I'm like, what are we talking about right now? Look at the scoreboard. You know what I mean? So I think that's probably good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's trash.
Yeah,
he's trash for sure.
All right, thank y'all. This has been Creative Control. It's your boy, No Big Deal. We'll catch y'all next time.